Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here, and you are very welcome, my friends and my enemies. Come in, come in, come in. Sit there, sit there, sit there. Sit wherever you want. Sit wherever you can find some space. Yes, I have an idea for a Superman film. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a very long time, I've explained elements of this idea, but I just want to expand on it. So I want you to imagine, right? You don't have to imagine. There's been 7 Superman films, including Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. I love all of those films. They all have positives I can allude to. But I don't think that any of those 7 films have totally done justice to Superman as a character. I think they haven't been particularly faithful to the comics, if I'm honest. I fell in love with Superman as a 12-year-old boy, watching Superman the movie with my dad and my brother. I fell in love. Donner's movie is amazing, but it's still not very faithful to the comics, to be honest with you. He is the upstanding, pure-hearted character you would expect, but there isn't a faithfulness to the comics. Let's get that right. So we get to Man of Steel. It's an amazingly compelling film, but I think there really was no need for Superman to break Zod's neck. It's a compelling moment. It shocks people. Now, I know what you're going to say to me before you switch off the video and unsubscribe. You're going to say, but Mick, Superman had no choice. You're right. Within the story, he had no choice. But David S. Goyer had a choice not to do that. There was no need to write that in. Surely there was a better way. Superman shouldn't kill. Now, you're going to allude to, in Superman 2, Superman pushing the Kryptonian villains around the fortress where they go down somewhere, and you kind of going to add that as a kill. We don't know what happens to them there. He didn't kill them, though. Maybe Superman has killed in comics before. Some people say that. I don't know. We can keep on defending this situation, but that's not who Superman is. You know it, and I know it. So I want you to sit back, close your eyes. So this is my idea. The opening credits start with John Williams' 2.5-minute theme. Within this theme, we see Superman's origin story with music on it. So we see the Krypton origin story. We see Krypton explode. We see a war on Krypton this time, a proper war, which has been started by Brainiac. We see the Baby Kal-El spaceship through space, all in the opening credits. We see the Smallville sequences, and then he finally arrives in Metropolis. But there's a difference. In this story, when we're in the present day, Superman's been around for thousands of years. So he's got a history, already got a history in Metropolis, right? So we get to see some great flashbacks of Superman in so many wonderful eras of the past. But the major flashback he's going to get in my story is in the Second World War, when governments of the world are pressuring him to kill Hitler, to get involved in the Second World War. Superman refuses and is put under extreme pressure to get involved and just solve this war. But in my story, Superman says, if I kill him for you, then why shouldn't I kill you for him? Superman can't take sides against in human kind of rivalries. Superman is on Earth to protect all of humanity. And that's the point he's making within this moment. So in this film, in these thousands of years, there's never been a Lois Lane, a Jimmy Olsen or a Lex Luthor. He's just about to meet them in this present day. So Lois Lane starts work at the Daily Planet. He hasn't worked at the Daily Planet before, right? He just starts work at the Daily Planet in this present day. Now, when we kind of do this, in this kind of past 5 years, actually Jimmy Olsen has been living with Clark Kent. He's actually kind of raised him as his own. He actually adopted Jimmy Olsen. So there's a maternal relationship between Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen. Now let me explain to you why I wanted to do this. A lot of people don't like Jimmy Olsen. They think he's a boring character. I love Jimmy Olsen. He's so important. He is you and me in this story. He's a human being who's very close to Clark Kent and Superman. And so he's just as important as Lois Lane as far as I'm concerned. So that's why I've done that. So Perry White's there, of course. He's a big part. I love Perry White, so he'll be there. And so you've got this unit there. So what happens is John Corben. Now, I'm not quite sure what he does in the comics, but John Corben actually works in the Daily Planet with Clark Kent. They're really, really good friends. They go for meals together. He's got a great bond with Jimmy as well. And Corben has got a wife. He's got a child. So let's just say, because I haven't really nailed this down, but Corben has the iconic, the death. He loses his wife. He loses his child, but he's brought back to life. He's brought back to life by Lex Luthor. Because in this story, Lex Luthor will be very, very scientifically savvy, like he is in the older comics, right? So he brings him back. So Metallo is powered by kryptonite, the only thing that can kill or hurt Superman. So because they've already got this friendship, it's really hard for Superman to battle him, because he's becoming a bit of a nuisance around Metropolis. So in comes Manchester Black and the Elite. They are metahumans. They have powers. They start fighting crime. They even start off with having a good relationship with Superman. But then when the Metallo issue comes up, they want Superman to help them kill Metallo. Now, Superman explains to them that he will never do that. In fact, Superman explains he can't get near Metallo because of the kryptonite. So this is what's kind of inspiring Manchester Black. He wants to kill Metallo for Superman, but Superman won't hear of it. So there's this pressure. So Superman's under pressure in this situation, because then what Manchester Black does, which is very similar to some of his comic book kind of stories, is he asks, what is the good of Superman if he doesn't do away with the threats of the world? If he just sustains them, puts them in jail to come back for another day? So Superman finds himself under pressure. So he's the hero of the people, but all of a sudden, Manchester Black becomes this pinner. Manchester Black and the Elite become like the Beatles, because they're going around solving crime, killing supervillains, and the world starts applauding them for it, right? And Superman's in the background. Nobody really believes in Superman anymore, apart from Jimmy and a few other people. This is the moment, Superman's moment, where he has to show the people of the world that not killing is a good thing, not a bad thing, and you can still make the world a better place. The whole heart of this story is really to show why Superman doesn't kill, and to make that a good thing. Now, there was an animated movie called Superman vs. the Elite, and when I saw what they did in this film, I was so inspired, because this sums up everything that's good about Superman. The way he messes with Manchester Black and the Elite. He scares the living crap out of them, but none of it's real. It's just an illusion. He hasn't killed anyone. He wants to show the world what happens if he would go the same way as Manchester Black. In fact, when Manchester Black actually thinks he's killed his team, he goes, "This isn't you." Finally, he sees it. Everyone sees it, why it's wrong to kill. And this is a great story. Now, within this story, and because of the flashbacks of the Second World War, in my film, we would actually see for the first time in a film, Superman in his Action Comics #1 iconic original costume. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be awesome? I think it would be. I think this could be a wonderful, positive film. No, this is not Superman having to save the world from Zod or Brainiac or anything else. Brainiac would definitely come in a sequel. We need to see Brainiac in a live-action Superman movie. And there's ways of doing that. And I definitely refer to the comics for that. Because I think they've... You see, the thing is with the comics, and this is why I don't get why films are not more kind of loyal to comics, it's all in there. Great freaking stories. Comics have got some bad stories as well that you wouldn't touch with a barge pole, but there's some great stories. You know, Jeff Johns and Gary Frank's Brainiac story is awesome. I'd love to look into that as well, but that would be for a sequel. Now, obviously, this ain't ever going to happen. We're just dreaming here. We're just Superman fans sitting here spitballing. So, basically, that's what my film would be. This film would be about a Superman who's thousands of years old. He's become a bit lonely. Maybe he's becoming a little bit cynical. And then he gets a job at the Daily Planet. Then obviously we see him. We kind of have a little 5-year flashback and see how he adopts Jimmy Olsen. And then he meets Lois Lane within the Daily Planet and things kick off with her. Then he's inspired again and he gets going. We see flashbacks of him in the Second World War, as I've explained. He's under pressure to do something about the war, to kill Hitler. And the whole point of those flashbacks is a parallel to being under pressure because Manchester Black and the elite want him to help them kill his friend John Corbin, aka Metallo. And as I've already explained, within this story, we see why Superman doesn't kill. And of course, there is a big battle between him and the elite. And we get to see Metallo as well. Why Metallo? Because I'm bored of superhero movies having superheroes having big global threats. That it's basically them having to save the world. We've got, we've had Thanos, we've had Zod, we had the first Avengers. It's all kind of, oh, we've got to save the world here. I've kind of been so hungry for a kind of a superhero story that's a bit more domestic. So with Metallo, he's a human being. With the elite, they're metahumans, right? The battle is a psychological one. It's an ethical one. But you still get to see Superman using his powers, flying about. But you also get to see who Superman really is. What kind of Clark Kent and Superman do I want to see? As I say, we love Superman already, but we've got to show the world why he's not boring and he's not too good to be true and he's not too squeaky clean. You've got to give him a personality. So you've got to tone him up a little bit. He's still got to be Superman. He's still got to be the character we all grew up with. Fine, I accept that. But we've just got to fine-tune it so people embrace his character and fall in love with him. And really, that's my Superman story, really. Let me know what you think. Would you like to see this movie? Do you think it could work? Please like, share and subscribe. And please comment down below and let me know what you think of my story.